Good morning, students. Welcome to today's lecture. In the last class, we discussed long division method and remainder theorem method to find remainder whenever we divide a given polynomial by another polynomial. Okay. Today, first I will take a doubt by many of you that why I was changing sign after every step of long division method. Okay, let's see. Today's topic is factorization of polynomials. Okay, so in the last class also I told you factorization is same as we have done in the last class, that is our 8th class. What we do is we try to write the expanded form in that factor form. It is known as factorization of polynomials. In the last class I told you that if x minus a is said to be factor of px, if x minus a, suppose x minus a is your gx, is said to be factor of px, then it means that p of a should be 0. Yes, it is a condition. If p of a is coming as 0, we can say x minus a is a factor of px. Yes. Now, take an example. Suppose x plus 2 is given to you and you have to check whether it is factor of px or not. What is px? Px is 2x plus 4. To check, what we do is we always find 0 of the divisor. So we find 0 of this as minus 2. Okay. Now we to put minus 2 in px. So in the place of x, I am putting minus 2 and checking what is the answer. So 2 bracket minus 2 plus 4. 2 into minus 2 is minus 4 plus 4. They both are equal but of different sign. So we will get 0 as answer, which is the remainder. So we can say this x plus 2 is a factor of px. Got it? Okay. Now there is a type of question in which we have find the value of k if x minus 1 is a factor of 4x cube plus 3x square minus 4x plus k. See the difference. Here we don't have to check whether this is factor of this or not. Here it is given to us that x minus 1 is a factor of this. So we can say surely that x equal to 1. So if I put 1 in this polynomial, what I will get as answer? 0, and that will help me to get the value of k. Got it? Let's start now. As it is given that x minus 1 is a factor of px, so we can say 0 of x minus 1 is 1. How? We have put x minus 1 equal to 0. This minus 1 when went to right side it became 1. So 0 of our gx is 1. So we will find P1 and we all know it is equal to 0. Why it is equal to 0? Because question is saying itself that x minus 1 is a factor. So whenever we put 1 in the polynomial, the remainder will surely be 0. So let's use this equation. What will we do? We will put in the place of x 1. So 4 bracket 1 cube plus 3 bracket 1 square minus 4 bracket 1 plus k. This k we need to find and it is equal to 0. Now if you see the equation, the only variable we have is k. So it is easy for us to find now. We just need to isolate the k on one side and take all the constant to the other side. So what have we done here? We have solved like this and finally we have got the answer as k equal to minus 3. Okay. Now before starting the factor theorem, I want to show you this formula that we have done in class 8 also. The formula is x minus a, x minus b. This is the fourth identity if you remember in your class 8. It is very simple. The formula is, first what we do is we multiply this x in this complete x minus b. Then we multiply this minus a in complete x minus b. So x into x is x square, x into minus b is minus bx, minus a into x is minus ax, and minus a into minus b is plus ab. Now these two x are same, so they can be taken common. Also we have a negative common, so we have taken minus x as common. What is left inside? B plus a. So you can see in this complete term we have x square, x, and this is the constant term. Kindly notice this constant term. This only will help us in the factor theorem. Okay. Now, so finally we can say x minus a into x minus b is same as x square minus a plus b x plus ab. If you can see and observe which is the factor form and which is the expanded form, can you tell? Very easy. This is the factor form. Why? Because here two terms are getting multiplied. You can see in between there is a multiplication sign. In this case, we can see first term, second term, and third term. They don't have multiplication sign, but they have minus sign and plus sign in between them. Hence, it is the expanded form. We have to learn how to use factor theorem to convert this thing into factor form. Today's lecture is very important, so please pay utmost attention. Okay. Now, factorization we have learned. The most easiest way that we have learned till now is middle term splitting, and other that we will learn today is factor theorem. The thing is, middle term splitting is the best way to find factors of a quadratic equation. But when it comes to cubic equations, the equations in which degree of polynomial is 3, in that case, this method is not appropriate. So we prefer factor theorem over there. Okay. Or we can say we prefer factor as well as middle term splitting in the case of cubic equations. But before dealing with cubic equations, we must learn the way we use factor theorem by the help of quadratic equations. Okay. So please be attentive. I'm starting it. So what we do in factor theorem, here we guess all possible zeros and check which are actual factors. So what we do here, it is a type of hit and trial method. So it can be very easy at some times and it can be lengthy also at times when you are not able to find the correct guess. Okay. So let's see. Suppose this question px equal to 6x square plus 17x plus 5. I solved this question last time also by middle term splitting. Today also I have shown you. First method is middle term splitting. So I am calling it MTS. So m plus n we want 17, that is middle term, and we want m into n as 6 into 5, that is this one. Kindly observe the coefficient of x square is 6. Coefficient of x square is 6. I am telling you because this will be observed in factor theorem also. So I have broken the 17x as 15x plus 2x, common, taking common and all, I have got this answer, that is 3x plus 1, 2x plus 5. It was very easy. Now we will see how to find these same factors, using factor theorem. Okay, it is little bit complicated in this example, but in some examples it is very easy also. Okay, so please be patient. I'm starting. Second method, that is factor theorem. First step that you have to follow while using factor theorem is you need to make coefficient of maximum power term variable as 1. So you can see in our polynomial we have 6x square plus 17x plus 5. Kindly observe which variable has maximum power. Obviously x square is the maximum variable, or you can say maximum power variable is this one. So we have to make this coefficient as 1. We can't allow coefficient of maximum power variable as anything else other than 1. So very easy. Just see. I have taken 6 common of whole equation. If you observe here we had 6, so 6 came out easily. But 17x and 5 they don't have any 6. So that is why I had to write 6 in division. Kindly don't get confused. Actually 6x square had 6. So it came out very easily. So we have now coefficient as 1. But 17x and 5 don't have any 6. That is why we need to write this 6 in division. You can check if you multiply again with 6, what will happen? It becomes 6x square. This 6 and this 6 will cancel. We will get 17x, and this 6 and this 6 will cancel. We have get 5. So we have done the common thing in a correct way. Okay. Only condition we have followed to make coefficient of maximum power as 1. After this, let's see. Suppose we can say if a and b are zeros of px, we can say x equal to a and x equal to b are zeros of px, then x minus a and x minus b is the factor of px. Why? This a came this side, it became x minus a. This b came this side, it became x minus b. So we can say our polynomial px can be written as 6, that is this one. You can see 6, 6. And this complete term can be written as x minus a, x minus b. This is the factor form. The only problem we have is these unknown a and b. So our complete thought process should be to find these values of a and b. Okay. Now let's see. We all know the formula of x minus a, x minus b is x square minus bx minus ax plus ab. I explained also. This is the main formula. X square minus b plus ax plus ab. So I am comparing this expanded form of this equation with our equation, which is x square plus 17 by 6x plus 5 by 6. So please compare. They both have same coefficient, that is 1 1. In this case they are comparable because x and x are same. This last term, if you observe, this ab is a constant, this 5 by 6 is a constant. So can we say they both should be equal? Because that only will help us to guess the factors. Okay, so we will take this ab and this 5 by 6 as equal. So taking them equal, now we will guess factors of 5 upon 6. That means those numbers that can divide 5 by 6. Let's start. First factor I have taken as plus minus 1 by 2. Now you must be thinking, why plus minus 1 by 2? Very easy. If you multiply in this number 5 upon 3, if you do 1 by 2 into 5 by 3, you will get 5 by 6. That is why 1 by 2 is a factor. Similarly, if you take minus 1 by 2 into minus 5 by 3, again you will get 5 by 6. Similarly, plus minus 1 by 3 is also a factor, because if you multiply with 5 upon 2, you will get 5 by 6. In the same case, 5 by 3 is also a factor. Plus minus 5 by 2 is also a factor, and plus minus 1 is also a factor of 5 by 6. Now, we need to check one by one starting from this number till this one until we get the 0 of our polynomial. So, it is a lengthy process if you don't get starting values as your answer. So, let's see what happens. It looks tough in the starting, but as soon as you get the concept, it is very easy. Okay. So first I am trying by putting 1 by 2 in the polynomial. Okay. So polynomial equation was x square plus 17 by 6x plus 5 by 6. So what I am doing is I am putting 1 by 2 at the place of x. So 1 by 2 whole square plus 17 by 6 into 1 by 2 plus 5 by 6. When you write like this, there is no need to solve it. Just by looking at it, you can say it will never come out as 0. Why? Because in between only plus sign is there. Do you think by adding 3 numbers you can get 0? No, don't waste your time. you can just say straight away that it is not equal to 0. Hence, we reject this 1 by 2. We reject this guess of 1 by 2. Now moving forward, minus 1 by 2, same procedure. I am putting the value 1 by 1. Now when you get this value, you can check by taking LCM. 12, 3 minus 17 plus 10, we have got minus 4 by 12. Again not equal to 0. So we again reject this one. Now comes P of minus 1 by 3. Now you must be thinking, sir, why you have taken minus 1 by 3? Why not plus 1 by 3 first? Because I have understood this simple thing that all terms if in plus, it will never give me an answer of 0. So it is better I use my mind, and straight away in my mind only I can reject all the positive numbers, because it can never be a positive number which will give us 0. That is why I am trying with minus 1 by 3. Okay. Now see, putting minus 1 by 3 whole square plus 17 by 6 minus 1 by 3 plus 5 by 6. So we have got 1 by 9 minus 17 by 18 plus 5 by 6. See, I have taken the LCM of 18. 2 minus 17 plus 15. 17 minus 17 upon 18. 0 upon 18 equal to 0. So, finally, we have got the first 0 of our quadratic equation. I have told you, whatever is the degree of polynomial, we need to find those many zeros. If it is a quadratic equation, we will to find 2 zeros. If it is a cubic, we need to find 3 zeros. Okay. So x equal to minus 1 by 3 is a 0 of px. Or we can say, by taking this to that side, that x plus 1 by 3 is a factor of px. Now, our job is not complete, because we need to find that other factor also. Very easy. Now, don't go with the guess part. As you have found one number already, that is minus 1 by 3, just look at it. We said earlier that a into b should be equal to 5 by 6. When you have found one variable a as minus 1 by 3, can't we find b simply by this equation? Just isolate this b on this side only and take minus 1 by 3 to this side. You will get 5 by 6 into minus 3 by 1. Now solving it, you will get minus 5 by 2. Hence, the second guess, if we would have solved, would have come as minus 5 by 2. But guessing again and again will take a lot of time. So it is best way to find the next 0. That is minus 5 by 2. As it is the next 0, therefore factor is x plus 5 by 2. Why? Because it is negative here. When it comes this side, it becomes x plus 5 by 2. So it is second factor. Hence, my final answer is px equal to 6 into x plus 1 by 3 into x plus 5 by 2. So we have got the answer. Now you must be thinking, sir, the answer you got by middle term splitting is different from this one. No. In that answer, if you take 6 common, you will get the same thing again. Okay. You can try on your own. You will get the same thing again. They both are equal. Okay. I hope you got this. In case not, it is a little bit complex, I know. Either you see it again or see the next two questions and it will be clear straight away. Let's see the next example. Y square minus 5y plus 6. Same way, this time I name it as py. We can say py in factor form will look like this. Y minus a, y minus b. It will look like this. If I open it, it becomes y square minus a plus by plus ab. Again the constant part. So we have to compare this expanded form of formula with our question. You can observe in our question the coefficient of maximum power variable is 1. So nothing to be taken common this time. We are straight away starting now. Just compare the constant parts. So we can say AB is equal to 6. Now, possible factors of 6 are plus minus 1, easy, plus minus 2, easy, plus minus 3, easy. This time, this question is easy because there is no fraction here. In the last time, it was difficult because fraction was there. Okay. Now see, again by hit and trial, we need to find that 0 of py which makes answer as 0. So first I am trying with p of 1. Why with 1 I am trying this time? Because in our equation we have a negative sign also. So this time answer may come from any plus or minus. But if in an equation all are of positive, in that case only negative will give you 0 as answer. Understood? Now putting 1 in the place of y, 1 square minus 5 into 1 plus 6. You can see 1 plus 6 is 7, 7 minus 5 is 2. So it is not equal to 0. So I am rejecting it. No need to show complete solution. If you got it, it is not coming as 0, you can straight away say rejected. Now I'm checking with p minus 1, minus 1 whole square minus 5 into minus 1 plus 6. I got 1 plus 5 plus 6. Obviously, the 3 are of positive, so we'll not get 0. Again, rejected. Now, p of 2 I'm checking. 2 square minus 5 into 2 plus 6. I've got 4 minus 10 plus 6, 10 minus 10, 0. So, y equal to 2 is a 0 of this polynomial. Hence, we can say y minus 2 is a factor. Now, I told you the last slide that a b equal to 6. I've got the value of a, how much? 2. So I'm putting the value of a as 2, b I don't know, equal to 6. So b is equal to 6 upon 2, that is 3. So we have got the two factors, sorry, the two zeros as 2 and 3. As zeros are 2 and 3, therefore factors are y minus 2 and y minus 3. Hence the final answer is py equal to y minus 2, y minus 3. I hope this one was lot easier than that one. I am giving you a hint. Whenever you find this method difficult, just solve in rough column by middle term splitting. You will get the answer from there and you can just guess those values. It will be easy for you. Okay. Now comes the main question of today, that is cubic polynomial. I told you in starting we can't solve this polynomial easily with middle term splitting, or it is not at all advised to solve by that method. You need to find at least one factor or one zero using factor theorem. After that you can use M middle term splitting, that is MTS. Now degree 3 have, as it is have degree 3, hence 3 zeros and 3 factors are in this equation. Here we find at least one factor by factor theorem and other two is our choice by splitting or factor theorem. It depends on us, whatever we like. Okay, this is the question. Px equal to x cube minus 23x square plus 142x minus 120. If you observe, this is the variable of maximum power. What is the coefficient? Again, 1. So we can proceed. Second thing, try to find the constant term. These three are having variable. This is the constant term. That is 120. Oh, sorry, it is minus 120. Now, first is we will write all the possible factors of 120. So that is plus minus 1, plus minus 2, plus minus 3, and so on. It will go till plus minus 60. But I stopped here and I showed with these dots because I know somewhere in this value I will get my 10 easily. Okay, you can write further also if you want, it depends on you. Now I am trying with the first value, that is plus 1, p1. So putting 1 in place of x, 1 cube, 23 into 1 square, 142 into 1 minus 120. Solving it, I got 0 in the very first step. I was very lucky this time. So I've got 0 in the very first step. So x equal to 1 is the 0 of this polynomial. Hence we can say x minus 1 is factor or first factor of this cubic equation. Now we have to use this factor that we have obtained to convert this cubic equation into a quadratic equation. Yes, let's see how. Now to obtain quadratic equation from cubic, we divide by first factor. Very easy. Let's see. What will we do? The first factor that we have obtained, we will divide this polynomial by this factor. By dividing, you will simply get 0. This will be your quotient. So obviously we can say x minus 1 into this thing is equal to polynomial. Yes. So I've written over here also. This px finally will look like this. x minus a, x minus b, x minus c, because it is a cubic equation. So there are three factors. I have already found the first one, that is x minus 1. The remaining are x minus b into x minus c, which are actually in this form right now. That is a quadratic form. And I have told you how to find or how to solve a quadratic equation. It is very easy. So this time I am using MTS. I am not wasting my time with that, what you say, factor theorem. Okay. But if you want to use factor theorem, you are welcome to use so. Okay. So you can see simply I wrote this thing. I want m plus n as minus 22 and m into n as 120. So I've done this factorization. I have found values of m as minus 12, n as minus 10. Hence, I've written like this, taken common, and I've got x minus 10 into x minus 12. Hence, the final answer is x minus 1 in bracket into x minus 10 into x minus 12. I know this is not that easy. Still, I hope you are trying it again. Please see it one more time. It will be clear to you. Okay? If not clear, in today's Zoom class, they will take it one more time. Okay? These are the questions that you can try for practice. Okay? As a homework, you can do it tomorrow, not today. Okay? This is the answer key of the last homework. I guess question number 4 was given to you as homework. You can check your answers, and this 3 will help you to check your answer that you will get. Thank you. All the best.